All right, hello friends, how's it going? Let's see. Hubert, hello. Shonies, hi. Jur, hello. Kwapa, hi. Poner, thanks for the 74. Thank you, my friend. Jur, you got a 3D printer? Ooh, fun. Conin, hola. Kill switch, hello. Ewan, hello. When do you say you were going to apply to become an astronaut? I should have gone to the moon, right? With the RME 2. The Artemis 2 mission. That would have been fun. Isn't that like the first mission to the moon? Like a manned mission to the moon in like 50 years or something crazy? Shark, hello. Thanks for the raid. Hi, hello. Welcome. Cool Penguin, hello. Retoid, hi. Rivius, hello, good evening. What type of SI am I using? So Max GPDX helped me with the parts. He sent me some of the like new old stock linear SI parts. Yeah, these are nice. These are super smooth. I don't think they're modded, but I mean they're great as is anyway, so let's see. Captain Mal, hi. Nick, hello. Eisenheim, hello. Sharky Raid. Imagine building a board in the moon. That would be crazy. How do you even solder something in the moon? Like, would it... I wonder if, like, it would just sort of... Like, would it still be fine? Like, would it blob up really quickly or something? I mean, I'm assuming the heat would help, but still. I don't know. All right, let's check this out. So today we're checking out a pretty exciting board, in my opinion. It's a board that Sensy Lab from, I believe, China is releasing, called the Seal80. They had some previous releases, right? Like the Seal 100. And I think also the... Was it the Smoke? And this time they are bringing the Seal design into a TKL form. And what's kind of cool about it is that it comes with compatibility for virtually every other switch. Okay, that I'm exaggerating, but a lot of switch types out there. And so today is gonna be a unique build in the sense that it's my first time doing it. It's actually my first time doing any work with RME Space Invaders. And the reason for that is because I don't have any actual vintage boards or OEM boards that have them. I've tried them at meetups, I've enjoyed them, but otherwise I've never really ever owned one myself. But yeah, it won't be a Cherry MX build today. So got an FR4 plate for that. They were very gracious to get this made for it. And also they sent a bunch of PCBs, although I think this one's for MX. So at some point I'll do an MX build, perhaps, I don't know. We'll see about time. They also sent an ALPS plate. They sent a PCB that's compatible with MX and ALPS, and I forget what the other one was. There's like 3. And then finally they sent a PCB that's compatible with the Space Invader switches. Also, happy Thursday. Yeah. So So there's the PCB. Crazy. So many holes on this. Let's see the SI plate again. Yeah, right here. Oh, on the PCB? Oh. Oh yeah, SKCP and B3GS compat 2. Yeah. But yeah, that's what the plate looks like. Yeah. It's the Max sent me the Norwegian. I think was it Norwegian ISO parts. Pretty cool. All right, so first time doing Space Invaders, so if I suck at it, you'll have to excuse me. I've pretty much never really touched SI outside of pretty much on board ones. So yeah. All right, so let's get the board out of here. So those are the plates and PCBs, and here's the board. Ooh, look at this color, brown as well. Okay. Ooh. Yes, I won't need to do any work on the switches. There is the board. So it currently has this is an MX plate. That's the, I think that's the PEI plate, I think, the thick one. But yeah. It's a nice brown. It's like a chocolatey brown, I would say. It's like pretty dark. Pretty dark. There's like this sort of like amber accent piece. And then let's look at the back. The back looks like it's brass. Brass with a machining pattern. Sort of like a big concentric circle sort of pattern, like a wave pattern. Pretty cool. Do you manage to find an anti-set? No, it's ISO. It's ISO. Anti-set, I feel like, if I recall correctly, anti is pretty hard to find for SI, right? It's fairly rare, like at least true anti, if I recall correctly. Yeah. All right, so pretty nice though. Very excited about this. So yeah, I think Max just said this in chat, but yeah, I got for switches. We do have two options, but probably gonna go with the linears. So they're the one-eye white linears, very nice and smooth, very cleanly desoldered as well. And then the stabs are in here. With some linearized clickies, I think, for the stab keys as well. And then these are the clickies. Sorry, I think the mic is over here. So clickies. If you have never looked at what the click bar looks like, it looks sort of like that. It has this like little bar in the back that sort of snaps, which is pretty cool. Yeah, pretty neat. And then the linears, you know, sort of just look like that. If you sort of like pull like this on the switch, it just kind of opens up. Actually, I guess I can try opening one up if you want, if I can show you. Trying to be careful here not to bend anything. So might be easier with the pull. Actually, might be easier with the spudger. I'll do it with the spudger instead. I love how all the vintage crowd is here. Did you guys tell each other that this was happening? Kind of surprised, yeah. So this is what SI switches look like on the inside. For those who obviously, for those who know, obviously you know. But for those who don't know, there's a lot of people who only do MX, or maybe at most even ALPS. So there is a slider, and there is sort of like this, I don't know, like tri-rail portion. That's where this middle portion with the spring goes. So that makes a lot of contact here. And then you have these electrical contacts that are basically bent sort of like in a loop, and then they are touching each other. And then on the slider, there is like a divider essentially. There's like this divider below that one eye portion where their contact gets separated as you know, as you have it at the very top. So at the very top, it's like separated, and then when you press on the switch, you know, the divider sort of goes down, so the loop closes, and you get the full circuit, right? So, but yeah, you have to be careful with these because so these electrical contacts are actually like 3 separate little prongs, sort of like bent in a V, and they're very easy to, you know, mess up, so you just got to be careful. But yeah, so you know, when you place these back, you just have to make sure to basically press from the top, you know, make sure they're like lined up, and then just like press from the top straight down on the switch, and they'll just snap into place like that. So as I said, right, like the loop is kind of open there, and then when you press it kind of closes. But as you can see, these guys are, okay, they get exposed very easily, so it's actually quite easy to get them damaged. So yes, these are called Hi-Tek 725 Space Invaders. But very cool switches. One, I think, and then you know, we'll talk about this kind of as we do the build, but it might be easier to work with this maybe. But you know, the way these switches mount onto keycaps, the keycaps are very different, right? They basically clip onto the side clips on the keycaps. So they basically clip onto like there's like a groove on the side essentially. I'm trying to point it out, but it's kind of hard to see with this, right? Because it's white. There's like grooves here and on the other side, so they kind of clip onto that, as well as they line themselves up with those cross points as well, the X cross points there. And so they end up with very little wobble, as some people in the chat are saying, which is very cool. So very unlike a lot of other like switch, you know, varieties, right? Just trying to like put this on, and oh, I put it upside down, my bad. So you like put it on, right? And so, you know, unlike a lot of other keycaps, right? So in a lot of other keycaps and a lot of other switch systems, you got to pull up, right? For the keycap, if you pull directly up using like a keycap puller, it's very easy to get the slider out, right? Because the slider is you know, pressed in like from the top. And so actually when you remove a lot of these keycaps, it's easier to remove by disengaging one of the side clips, right? So you kind of wiggle sideways, you know, and then you disengage one clip, and then the other one just kind of comes off like that. Yeah. There is no top housing. Yeah. The slider itself is a top housing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. It's just different from other systems, and yeah, what you end up with is a cool, sturdy sort of keycap mounting with very little wobble. Cheap O-ring pullers I found work well for this. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I guess what should we do? Should I take this apart first? Do we want to look at the internals at all first? Maybe we want to take a look at the internals real quick, and then we can just go ahead and put it all together. Okay. So I think we got T8s here. What color is this seal? This is like a chocolate brown. Diego, if Geekhack becomes defunct, will you host it on your NAS? I don't have a functioning NAS, so no. I'll do it if you can send me 4 high capacity drives, Kupo. They cost so much. I'll send you 500 GB hard drives from 2007. How many hours on those? Everything that I find in on home lab sales and like other places are like hella expensive. Like 1 million aren't affected by the shortage. Yeah, because nobody wants them. All right, so it's top mount. Just uses these like M2.5 screws, and it uses these like little plastic tabs for the mounting as well, kind of between the top piece and the plate. Kind of helps dampen the plate mounting to the top case. And so, you know, I can remove the plate here to kind of show you more. I heard Mr. Kupo is buying GH. Yo, Mr. Kupo loaded. Seal doesn't come with a copper divider? Wait. Copper divider? What do you mean? Oh, so sorry. One sec. Okay. So yeah. I remember watching Alex Oto's build on the PC version. Oh, had a copper mid piece kind of thing. Let me take a look. Maybe is it a PC only thing, or are you sure, or are we maybe referring to a different part and just calling it a mid piece? Let me see. I'll take a look. I think it comes in materials other than copper. Oh, okay. So maybe that's why. Okay, so this is the PEI plate. It's like a thick plastic plate. Nice and more complex machining on this for the switches to actually clip onto this. But that's for MX. Today we do not worry about MX. All right, so let's take a look here at the, whoopsie, sorry. Let's take a look here at the top piece. So the top piece here comes with these little, is it ABS? My bad. I thought it was PEI based on the other board that they did. Maybe it's ABS. Yeah, my bad. I should have taken a look twice at the GB page. So it comes with these little tabs, right? So the top piece, when you mount the plate, you don't mount it just directly to the top piece. You mount it to these little, actually, yeah, it's kind of like rubber pieces rather. Some small anode defects on the inside, but no biggie. They're on the inside. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the internals of the keys. Let's see. Is this like a... I'm not sure if this is like a sticker. Oh, I see. Okay, it's like a plastic panel. There's like this plastic panel also attached onto this here, kind of like to prevent dust and also other stuff getting on there. Has like a serial number on it, and then looks like we have a little badge on the inside. This looks like 3D printed plastic actually. I'm assuming to prevent a harsh contact between the top and bottom pieces. It's so that you don't get shorts. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, figures. You can remove it, but yeah. And then there's a daughterboard cable on here, and then underneath, from what I can see, is just a brass weight. So I'm not sure what this copper mid piece thing is that was mentioned earlier, but maybe this part was that, or was it different? Done? Okay. Sorry about that. Just people passing through here. Highly trafficked area of the apartment. Could be that white thing. It might have been. Might have been for the PC, because you know PC already have a polycarb case, right? So it's fine making that portion out of metal. I think it's fine. Yeah, it probably was those strips then. Yeah, these guys here. These guys. That would make sense though. If the case is polycarb, then making those out of metal is totally okay. Here they kind of serve the nice double purpose that they prevent metal to metal contact between the top and bottom pieces, which is neat. All right. Let's get started. So I'm gonna put these here. Put this to the side. And I'm just gonna grab this guy here. Just prefer to work on this so that I don't work directly on the mat. Slightly elevated. Okay, so this should be fairly simple. Basically prop up our plate and then work with stabs. So the stabs, the wires will go. So the wires, stabs on SI work differently, at least. These specific ones, they are these wires. They're bent wires that are mounted on the switch. For the spacebar, it's also a little different. You have to clip the spacebar stab onto the plate first. So we'll be doing that just now. So let's see, which way does it go? I think this way. So you gotta just clip on this part here. And then this part here. So you have spacebar stabs that just clip on like that, and then this portion will go onto the keycap itself, right? So there's a spacebar wire for this. Just kind of stays there. Can't wait to see SMK, B3GS, and SKCP builds with this board. It will be very cool to see people building with all these options. I can appreciate, you know, a designer going out of their way to making vintage more available like that. I think it's cool. It's kind of a first, right? I mean, there have been like enthusiast projects around that have done this, but I guess not to this extent. What the heck happened to this wire? How did it get stuck in here? Wow, that's a very deeply stuck wire. Oh, I see. It's just because it's bent. Okay. Not bent quite, but just looped around rather. That's the spacebar switch, slightly heavier, I think. Yeah, that's decently heavier than the rest. Are those clicky stab switches? Yeah, they are. They're linearized for the purpose of using with the linear switches. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, is the music like too loud or something? I can always turn it down if it's like irritating or not your kind of music. Getting one-eye linear stab switches getting to be a pain. Getting to be a pain meaning hard to find, or like just like less available, hard to find, or like what do you mean? Expensive? Yeah, it's always an issue when it comes to anything that's vintage, right? Because you're basically working against a dwindling supply of stuff. So yeah, it's somewhat inevitable, right? So one thing for those who are new to SI as well, so unlike cherry switches, SI switches clip on the sides rather than the top and the bottom. So the clips are on the sides right there. And yeah, that it says Hi-Tek there in the housing. You can see the electrical contacts there being separated by the divider in the middle. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Did they tell you the thickness of the plate? No, but I can check. Do you want me to check? I literally have calipers here. Oh, actually, I don't know if I have battery on them. Oh, I think I do. Oh, the battery's kind of low, huh? I should replace this. Thickness looks like 1.2 mils. Looks like 1.2 mils. Clips didn't engage fully. Oh yeah, not on this one. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Plate might need to be lifted up. Stock NMB. SI plates are somewhat thick. 1.4. Okay. So I need to prop it up. Is what you're saying? Love the brown anode on this board. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. What the heck? My light just flickered. Hi Diego, hi. Ray's Luo, hello. How's it going? Hi-Tek build, that's hot. Yeah, yeah, first for me, so I'm a noob. I'm a noob. Okay. I think that should be good enough for holding it up fairly evenly around the board. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so the way these work is the switches themselves have little clips on the underside of the bottom housing that houses the wire, and so they kind of just go onto that, and then the wire sort of sits on top like this, and this gets clipped onto the plate for stabs. And so that's your stab. That's literally your stab. It's a pretty cool form of doing stabilizers. It basically uses this bar as a prop up way of keeping the stab. I mean, like the stabilized key, well, stabilized. The weak point really is that you effectively have direct contact between the wire and the housing of the switch and the keycap, and sure, like there's not as much wobble for the keycap, but you still do have essentially a direct point of contact, and so you like they can be kind of rattly sometimes. So from what I've just asked people around and stuff. So people say it's like the weak point of it. Can you see if this anno matches renderers by holding it up to a picture on your monitor? Okay, let me see. TBN looks quite accurate. It should match GMK Chocolatier. Or bread. Yeah. Hola, aquí estamos armando. Hola Ru, estamos armando el Seal80 de Sensy Lab. Pero hoy no estamos armando en Cherry MX, estamos armándolo con Hi-Tek Space Invaders. I can just finagle this over there. Two chonkers on the desk? Yeah, I just left this one. I'm not gonna lie, I've been coming back home feeling really tired, so I haven't like swapped boards or done anything. Yeah. Okay, I'm assuming these are for the numpad, right now? Yeah, I think so. So I think these are extras now. ISO, yeah. Yeah, ISO. Okay. Whoop. Let me know for the, vintage people in the chat if I'm doing anything wrong. Just call me out. It's fine. Just say like, you're fucking stupid. Just do it right. Where do you get the switches from? Someone in the community sent them out. So they're actually they're not mine. I'll be giving them back. I think I'm doing this okay. I think I haven't made any mistakes so far, so far so good. I'm just double checking that as I'm clicking these in, that the contacts are not like sitting high when I press down on the switch, because like even when you desolder these cleanly, I did notice that some of them, sometimes the little pins can be a little bit pressed in into the housing. Just double checking that, but that's about it. You're based in California, right? No, I'm in New York City. I'm in New York City. I also just lubing the spacebar step before putting the board together, since they're kind of annoying to get off while the case is together. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, okay. So, spacebar stab lubing, would that just mean lubing the wire for the keycap clips? So let me get the keycaps actually. These guys, just these. So basically the wire and this contact here for the bar. Okay, noted. Noted. I do it last. That's fair. Thicker is better. Okay. I think 205 should be okay for the most part. I don't know where I put my other grease. Probably lost it during the move, honestly. I put it together with like my lithium grease and like a few other things that like I just use for like home stuff, and then like I don't know where that bag went. and then I moved, and I was like looking for the lithium grease to put on like a squeaky door kind of thing. It's pissing me off. Good thing I think borrowed some from the super, so he was like, "Oh yeah, just have some here in the supply room." 3204, okay, yeah, like coaster style, okay, good. I'm picking the deep blue color because it's awesome. Oh, deep blue color enjoyers. I enjoy a nice deep blue color for keyboards. It's pretty versatile, so I like it. I like the green seal. They're offering quite a few colors, right? Let's actually take a look at their we'll take a look at their group by page, or at least maybe the Vinny keys. Let's see, they have WinKey, WinKeyless. So they have WinKey, WinKeyless, polycarb with the copper buffer, which is probably what Alex was building here for that. What is anodized Ching? What is Ching? Is this supposed to be something else? Not sure. Red, blue, green, silver, orange. Ooh, orange. Ooh, anodized orange is kind of nice. Purple. Oh, that's kind of like a brighter purple. That's a nice purple, actually. It's not like a deep purple either, so it's a little different from some other boards out there. This purple is actually more like the anodizing sample purples that I see like on Fab pages. Yeah. Brown, which is this one, and then E-Coat Vintage Gray. Oh, that's nice. And Sparkle Black. And then weight, they have brass. I don't know what AF is. Is this what's AF? Like, I guess like sort of like sandblast or something. Patina, stainless steel raw, stainless steel black, stainless steel gold, and copper raw. And then PCBs. And then plates, they have MX, ABS 4 millimeters. Okay, so it was ABS. Yeah, you're right. PI would have been like the yellowy color. Right, you're right. And there's ANSI and ISO strips. They have like 10 billion of them. And then badges. Damn, there's so many like items on this. 9-degree typing angle. 9 trim options, 8 badge options, VL and Heine 87 compatible, 22-ish millimeter, EKH, 16.5 front height, about 2.5 to 3 kilos. No other plates is kind of a miss. Yeah. I do feel like it would have been nice to offer non-cherry options. I think even if at least they like, are they gonna release like any files for that at least? But if not, like, you know, what's the deal? Yeah, I think that is kind of a miss. Like having people have to DIY it. It's a little like not encouraging of. It's like a little discouraging of having to like, you know, like doing the like other options for switches. So kind of a bummer. They are giving plate files before the units ship at least. I wish they had PC bottom, alu top. Oh, that'd be pretty fun. I like that at least they don't have the ugly stretch seal badge. Oh, yeah, clean. Definitely like a cleaner look. Brass as fuck. It's brass as fuck. Damn, bold. The problem is all the different kinds of stabs vintage boards. That is true. That is true though. When it comes to vintage stuff, like even if it's ALPS, like even if it's like just about everything that they're trying to like support, yeah, like having all the plate offerings is like you can't possibly cover everything. So I guess maybe they just went with, I guess, the least I guess the option that offers the least, which is just to offer what's known and then kind of let people DIY based on their needs. They probably should have offered 1 or 2 ALPS plates for the common layouts like DCS and AT. Yeah, I feel like AT 101 SGI would have been a good offering, yeah. Because, I mean, that's basically what they sent, right? I put it down, but, yeah, I think that's the plate I was showing earlier. The ALPS plate, I'm pretty sure that's just the AT 101 plate. SI ISO as well. That would have been more common too, right? Like this one. Like pretty much just like this one. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But it's good that at least they're offering to post plate files. I think that's the least they can do, and there are hopefully decent cutting services out there to get get yourself a plate cut. Albeit, you know, it's definitely not the same as getting one from the production run. Oh no, I didn't see all the badge options. I'm about to crash out all over again. Don't know why they decided to do it like that. I think isn't it because it's just mirrored from the Chinese group buy? Or is it simultaneous? No, right? It's always the same, right? It's always like China first and then international, right? Usually. I thought it was almost always like that. Can you measure between the switch cutout on the top and the edge of the plate? Switch cutout on the top and the edge of the plate. So switch cutout, the top and the edge of the plate. Wait, like where? Like what do you want measured? these switch edges are like basically right at the edge. I mean, if it's almost flush, but yeah, it's very close to that. Same with here. Oh, how thick? Oh, I see. How thick is what? Sorry, you mean like, I mean, I'm just trying to like visualize what you're asking me. Because you said between the cutout on the top and the edge. Am I like tripping? Edge of the switch and edge of the plate, there's like no distance. If you're asking between like here, it's like basically flush. But if you're asking me like how thick that is specifically, yeah, I'll remove a switch. Yeah, it's basically flush, like on both sides. It's like almost no distance there. But sure, I can remove one. You need a good plate cutter? Yeah. Yeah. But it's like basically flush. Oh, where's the my pointy spudger go? Here. Like, you're asking for this thickness? This one? Let me see. Oh man, these calipers are pretty much running out of battery. Okay. 1 mil? 1 millimeter. Yeah, that's 1 millimeter. 0.98, 0.99. Yeah, 1 mil. It's like 0.98, 0.99 plus minus like 0.02-ish. So yeah, 1 mil. Okay. Okay, guess let's solder first so that we can get these guys all stable, especially the wires here, because these are like flush against this. And then we'll go ahead and lube the spacebar stop last and put the keycaps on, right? Maybe I will just be careful with that. Okay, there we go. I feel like the stabs are either gonna be hard as hell or free ASF, no in between. Yeah. I'm sort of thinking maybe I won't put the stabs soldered right away. Get the stabs soldered right away and just get the maybe get a little like tape and just like put it right where the wire is, just so that it's like a slight bit of cushion, and then put the switch and the wire on. Okay, I'm gonna put this down for a sec. Okay. Let me get a fan over here. Shouldn't I put the caps on before soldering? Should I? Why should I? Is it different that I should? Yeah, I don't think I have to. Pretty sure I don't have to. I just need to make sure that the switches are flush, but that's about it. And the caps don't really ensure that, I think. Yeah, I don't see the reason myself. Yeah, the stab just needs to be in place. I think because they're standalone on the Switch, I think I can just do them last. Basically, just do it one by one carefully. I'm gonna turn on the fan, so if it's noisy, excuse me. I'm gonna start with opposite corners. And then see if I messed up anything. And then reflow. Sit back, this is gonna take a while. Yeah, it will, huh? Four pins per switch. Extra stability. At least SIs with 4 pins is not as bad as Mitsumi Miniature Mechanical. With 6 pins? Jesus. 6 pins is crazy. Why do they even have 6 pins for? Like, do they do more than do they have multiple states? I actually don't know. Okay, before I continue, I need to check something. Just make sure what the relative pin length should be at the bottom, so I can get a good idea. It's easier to know when I'm doing this with MX because I've done it so many times. Same with ALPS, but okay, so it's pretty short. It's a pretty short amount of distance into the PCB, because the PCB is regular 1.6, I think. So, alright, cool. Good to know. Relatively short. This is being built with ALPS? No. Hi-Tek Space Invaders. They should have done screws, but supporting 2 switches omits that. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay. These pads are tiny though. So like the amount of pad adhesion here for the solder is like fairly minimal. Well, it's not that bad. It'll still form like a little hill depending on the shape of the pin. But when you look at it a little closely, it looks a little bit more blobby than like a cusp. So like I'm like double questioning myself if my solder joints are like shit, if they're like crappy and like cold, but it's just the shape of the pin at the end and the very short amount of, I guess, protrusion past the surface of the PCB. Sorry if I'm not looking up. Nico, hello. Sergeant Finley 96 unintentionally got aboard with gray linear ones. Oh. I saw that he built his seal with I think, was it linear ALPS? I think it was SKCLs, right? Greens maybe? Wonder how he liked it. To slide the weight back to get case screws and the weight moving, scrape the Cerakote. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, can I just let out my frustrations about the Horangi here? Literally got it back yesterday from Cerakote and now I damaged it. Slide the weight back to get case screws and the weight moving, scrape the Cerakote. Fuck. Bad design. Yeah, the Horangi was a process to put together. Just that last few steps of getting the cable connected and getting it closed is silly. Really silly. 어디서 타는 냄새 안 나요? 안 나요. What's the pickup line, Insty? 내 마음이 불타고 있잖아요. 아. Good God. Why is the weight going on last? Why not screw it from the inside? It should, well, in good, I think if the design had been friendlier, it should have just stayed screwed on like a lot of boards do. And then the cabling process should have been a little different. It basically should have been inverted, right? So that you end up with like a cable that you mess around with, but not have to mess around the heavy a heavy part from I guess either side is fine, but yeah, from either side makes it worse. You wanted everyone to suffer. Was it his first design? I mean, wouldn't that just explain that, honestly? Relatively. It's like first time making a keyboard sort of thing. But yeah, I guess it wasn't for other people. He had like 5 protos? Okay, that's kind of crazy considering that if you have 5 protos, you would have thought that something might have had to change, no? Like, wouldn't that have been a change from the first proto being built? Or were the first 4 prototypes unbuildable and then the 5th one was? It was like, oh, I'm so tired of this, I'm done, quit application. Like, quit program, full send to factory, we are done here. Okay, I'm just gonna double check that my switches are like flush. That looks pretty good so far. So far so good. Stabs are still obviously loose because I haven't put them on yet. Or not put them on, but solder them fully. Okay, we're halfway through the soldering now. Basically. Maybe John likes pain. Hey, some people pay for that stuff, okay? Nico paid for pain. John paid for it. Oh, we all pay. We all pay for pain. We all pain. Paying the price. All right. Now that I'm like more certain about these, I can just go ahead and kind of. Can I get some money for my pain? So compensation for damages. Well, super glue it so I don't get ideas. Wild. That's the idea, I think. Okay, these solder joints are not looking very pretty today. Mind you, none of them are cold. It's just the shape of the pins is whack from the length being ever so slightly variable and not much protruding out. Or I'm just coping. But I think it's that. And I don't want to bother fixing the exact centering of the pin. Is that a super compatible PCB? Yeah, it's compatible with a bunch of switches. A lot of vintage stuff. What if you made a checkerboard pattern of the EC and MX switches on it? Well, EC and MX... Actually, well, I was gonna say EC and MX don't work, and I'm like, no, that's not true. I literally saw a prototype of that before. So that's a lie. But, I mean, this one is already so many pins. It's kind of difficult on the real estate. What are you putting in that has 4 pins? Oh, these are Hi-Tek Space Invaders. I didn't realize it was ALPS compatible as well. Yeah. It pretty much has all kinds of support for just about a lot of things on the map. It's pretty cool. It's definitely one of the first to do all that. I mean, definitely, I would say, yeah, the first to do all that, rather. Really cool to even have the initiative to do this. Yes, a bit of a shame to not have plate support for GB buyers from production, but you can make your own plate pretty easily. Fairly easily. And they'll be sharing plate files too, so there's all the common ones. There are quite a few ALPS compatible boards now, much thanks to Carolus. Yeah. I guess much... There definitely is a lot of thank yous to be given to parts of the community that have allowed for adaptability of other, you know, Switch platforms. Like from the EC sort of taking off to ALPS and like vintage stuff sort of like, you know, kind of slowly acquiring traction here and there. It's nice. It's nice. Seems like a good value kit across the board. Yeah, if you enjoy the whole like doing all kinds of builds around around each of these types of switches, then for sure a lot of value to be had. Well, at least to enjoy it in a custom keyboard, yeah. The question about whether it's worth harvesting something from its original, you know, enclosure to put it into a custom is a whole different question. I guess it also depends on availability, condition, and among other things, but yeah. But it's good. It's good. Vintage stuff is so much more interesting than MX personally. I think that's, well, somewhat intentional. MX stuff is accessible. I think that's a key thing that needs to be recognized in MX. MX is accessible and it's popular, but it by no means has as much depth and yeah, I guess depth and breadth, really. It's merely, you know, the most accessible switch currently, but just due to popularization of, you know, the standard. But a lot of adoptees. And you know, vintage stuff is a whole world out there. It's, you know, it's like it's a very difficult comparison because you're literally comparing dozens of other things to one thing. But yeah, I mean, almost when you say mechanical keyboards and stuff, people will always think Cherry MX based stuff first and then the rest. So sadly, that's just a reality. I think as long as there's kind of like mutual respect between the two types of people, enthusiasts and whatever, it's fine. I think, like, just gotta know the limitations of each, which there's a lot of, to be honest. But yeah. Cool to see kids like this are bridging the gap, though, which is always good. Okay, almost done with the soldering. I actually just need to double check some parts and then consolidate, and then spacebar, and then I should be done, I think. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, stab key, and it looks like I skipped a random switch here. Okay, stab key, and then done. Okay. There aren't millions of ALPS enthusiasts, yes, right. Okay. So there's a little wobble, but it doesn't let me free the wire, so that's actually pretty good. I soldered 2 of the legs, and that does seem to keep it in place. So a little bit of play, but not like the craziest amount, so that's a relief, I think. At least as long as the wire isn't like just, you know, popping right off from the socket, it's good. This looks so alien to me. Haha, nice one. Cause they're Space Invaders. You can ignore me. I gotta go after that one. Sorry. 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 I'm so sorry. Alright. I think the soldering itself is pretty much done. I think the next part will just be lubing that stab, right, for the spacebar. Make sure it's kind of good. I blame Flick. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Oh, did I write NMB Space Invader? Oh, I should have wrote Hi-Tek, eh? I guess that's fine. All right. So let's see here. Okay. I'll just. So these are mechanical switches, right? The most mechanical you can imagine. Very mechanical for sure. They do have a spring and a slider, and electrical contact points that close the circuit. Close and open circuit. Just like a regular switch mechanism. All right. I can show you. There's a few spare switches, so I can show you what that is like. Okay, pretty moderate amount of lube here. Now let's see, the clip goes that way, so this way is down. Are these harvested? Yeah, I think these were obtained from one of many modules, right, out there. Max would have the most info on this, I think. Okay. Okay, let's ignore the sound of these guys rattling. Nice and heavy spacebar. Okay, pretty good. Pretty stable. All right. All right, let's do I do keycaps first? Let's just test things here first. Rattly. Definitely a weak point of this is that you definitely get a bunch of the rattle from this wire. I do wonder if there's a way to really make it better though. Like, is there? Do you lube it? Well, so people said I'm okay not doing it, but also I'm not sure, you know? So let's see, there is contact between the wire and the keycap, as well as the wire and the switch, as well as the wire and the plate. Lube the slider where the wire sits. Okay, I see. So I could always also loop the wire where it sits on the slider. Yeah, I'm trying to be careful not to overdo it. Like here. And then just here. .204 or 3204. I'm using a very small amount of 205. I mean, sorry, 205. But what's up? Oh. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. I think a lot of this rattle is really coming from the wire on the switch housing. Right? Should we just leave it? I don't know how much I don't know how much I can improve it at this point. If not soldered, then yes. I did just solder these. The stab keys. These are pretty much all the way down. But I can reflow. Some sort of thin shrink wrap where the wire contacts the caps and slider. Shrink wrap between the wire contacts the caps, maybe, yeah. Maybe. I can get a little piece. See how it goes? We can try. We are working with this for the first time today, so give me a sec. Might be old molds. Oh, I see. I see. Because that would do it. Basically, just a lot of play. Are we holy modding right now? Not quite exactly that, but I guess you could say that. Yeah, we're basically putting stuff in between other things so that we see how they do. Okay. Oop. Better, not by much. Only mod in 2026 poggers. Mayhaps, mayhaps. I'm doing cherry clip-ins for my Manta in honor of Alex. Cherry clip-ins are good. I see nothing wrong there. Why are we hating on cherry clip-ins now? Ah, pretty good. Better than earlier, that's for sure. It's not by no means perfect, but better. BAE? No, it's ISO. BAE is different. BAE is like L shape, but like this way. You know what I mean? It's just different. I think with enough experimenting, you should be able to get rid of the rattle. Yeah, I think just identifying contact points and then targeting each one little by little should probably do the job. I think what I'm... This is a very crude way of doing it because the shrink wrap kind of goes everywhere. Like I'm kind of like wrapping it underneath and then like putting it on just as a means to prevent it from rattling as much on the piece of metal, but it's all right. It's not perfect. For now, I'm just trying to prevent how much contact it makes, harsh contact. But yeah, I'm sure there's more elegant solutions to this. Ideally, like a different but soft material. Wrapping around the wire instead of putting the keycap. It's hard to wrap around the wire because the wire is really thin. I think the reason, yeah, I think I would personally be like, yeah, maybe wrapping it on the wire, but then the wire itself is, yeah, like a tape would be ideal. Like I would say like something that has some adhesive and something that is still pretty thin. because you don't want to make it completely dead. Like if it's too thick, like a foam, that would kind of kill the bottom outcome, right? Band-Aid, maybe. Actually, maybe, yeah, like a cloth Band-Aid. I don't have any on me. Oh, actually, I might, but I think for now, I'm just gonna. The backspace one, I think, is the worst one because the first one I did. You can still see some of the shrink wrap like peek out a little bit. Okay, there. I mean, I should tuck it in. It's good, but the spacebar is nicer. All right. Let's put it into the case first. See if it works first. Manipulating the wire besides lube makes stuff sluggish. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, if you have ever worked with CoStar stuff, it's basically the same. CoStar is just like that too. It's like if you try to play with the wire too much, then you end up making it sluggish. And the worst part is obviously if you bend it. Obviously, you don't want to do that. Okay. I get it. All right, let's put these guys on. Rorschach Ink's Blot, hello. How's it going? Of all the Thursdays, this is one of them. Yeah. We sharing dinner? Who's betraying? Oh, you need scissors? Where did I just put it? I'm not gonna throw it. Can you just grab it? Can you just grab it from here? We split pizza. Does that count? Hey, I'm down to split pizza. I love pizza. Hell yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Oh yeah. I got my Manta in Americano to have a brown build. Putting sloth in. Ooh, that sounds good. That's pretty sweet, actually. Watch it not work. The price I paid for not testing right before. I will still type on this. You can only split dinner as mandated in socialist. Excuse me? How dare you insult Mamdanistan? Shakira law will help us all, okay? Stop. Do not. Don't you dare. My habibis. It's okay. What law? Shakira. The law that says that hips don't lie. Yes, it is. It is exactly that law. A true sewer socialism will rise up. Man, we got a chonker on the desk today. For real. Okay, I'm gonna put this away first. It's okay, just leave it. It's alright. Oh, why did my... Oh, there we go. It's back. Okay. Oh, shows up on vial, whatever you want to call it. Sweet. Okay, let's just do matrix tester. Oh right, it's ISO. ISO enter, split left shift. Okay. All right, sweet, everything's working. Sick. Okay, all right. I low-key hope it sounds like ass, so I don't need to buy one. Secretly, I feel like a lot of keyboard people hope this about boards that they look at. They're like, I hope it sounds like shit. Oh, that satisfying snap though of these caps. Oh, it's like when Topris snaps. So good. Today, Diego converts to ISO. Next step, split backspace. Hey. I was an ISO user early on in my life, okay? I lived a period of time when I was typing on ISO, Spanish with ISO layouts. Three, 4, 5, 6, right? Okay. Okay, I don't know where these keys go yet. If anyone wants to remind me where the layout keys go, I am not very good at that. G, H, J, K, L. Okay. Well, you won't need the numpad keys. Well, thank you. That was very, that was great advice. I wouldn't have known. How'd you find out? Terribly smart. Seven, 8, 9. Haha! I almost said 6 followed by the following number. That's the tilde, right? I think. Like where it goes, where the tilde goes. Is this quartz? No, it's Norwegian. This goes somewhere up there. I know that. The one day I actually don't have an artisan for this because I straight up do not have artisans for this. If it were buckling spring, if it were ALPS, if it were MX, by all means, but I don't have anything for this. Time to custom resin print an artisan? That would be kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, the O is and the As go somewhere on the right side. I know that for sure. And if I recall correctly, it's comma, period, dash, I think, for most international layouts. I'll double check it in a bit. There's your Z. Or your Z, as the Americans call it. I might custom resin print an ANSI keycap set. I'm not gonna lie, that would be very cool. It'd be fucking sick to see modern Space Invaders keycaps in different colors, not just beige. That would be so crazy. I mean, you know, expensive for sure. Gotta make that a reality first, and that means molding equipment and all that. So it would be a very big, big venture. Whoever does this definitely is losing money on it. And I guess it wouldn't be for the sake of money anyway, but you know, I didn't line these up. Have you seen DCS Clown? I did. Oh, never mind. That's... I don't know where they go. I need to remember. I'll look it up. Okay. Oh, caps lock looks so good. I really like the 3/4 step caps lock. This actually might be my favorite caps lock. The like 3/4 caps lock. I think it's my one of my favorite styles. The 1.5U stepped, and then the 0.25U is like you know, like down here, or I guess 2.25 step, I guess. Yeah, and whichever way you want to call it, but basically this tab lines up with this. Pretty nice. What about double step caps lock? It's alright. It's alright. I feel like because I don't use caps lock as God intended, which is as caps lock, I end up preferring the a little bit more real estate on that without it being full touch, because full touch just doesn't look as good. Using SI caps that are stepped everywhere would be a vibe. More than a vibe, I'm sure. That's pretty alien to me, no pun intended. God intended it to be controlled. Oh, yes! Thank you. Yes, that's exactly right. This key is always controlled in every single one of my keyboards, and if I cannot program it onto the fucking keyboard, I will put it on. I will make sure the OS understands that it's controlled. Work PC or otherwise. Ain't nobody stopping me from making that a control key. Do you use step control keycap though? I mean, it's a step key, but I still map it as control, so I guess yeah. I don't really need this to be a accurate legend. Actually, that's the thing. I'm not like a, oh, it's gotta be control on the key, and then because you know this ends up being control, right? But I actually mapped this as my Win key for Windows. Obviously on Mac, this is my command key, and that's my Alt key, I guess, like Option key, Alt key, whatever you want to call it. So, you know. Okay, now the symbols. I'm pretty sure this is comma. And this is the hyphen. And then this is the period. The and all these other ones I need to look up. Let me just take a look. I think, did Max send me a picture of this before? Yeah, wait, yeah, I see a glimpse of it. That's good enough. Just by profile alone, I can tell. And then this one, and then that's R3. Right, wait. I'm looking at mine right now. Okay, fine. I'll just look it up. Okay. Then the little happy face looking key is here. And then the one with the backslash is here. The one with the pipe is here. Question mark. Apostrophe. And the O looking key goes here. Oops. Come on, line up. I struggle lining this one up. There. There we go. Okay. Oh, isn't that nice? That's all that's left? Okay, all right. Put this in the back so I don't lose it. Just don't want to lose anything because I have to get this back to their owner. Okay, all right. This is gonna be the first time somebody has released a video of this board and SI build on the internet, I think. Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's weird to see Diego build a board and not have artisans on it. It just happens. What can I do? I just don't have one. All right. Didn't Finley do it? Oh, maybe Finley did. Yeah. I don't know. SMK builds I've seen though out there. I've seen SMK stuff out there too. I mean, I'm not the only person who has had an SI build. I'm sure there's people out there who have done the. I saw. Isn't there a 60% PCB floating around? I think Vinky's also designed a TKL one around for himself too. So, yeah. Where's the artisan? I know. It's missing. It's missing. Ah. Okay. Let's take a look at the side view here. Oh, look at that. Hotness. Hot damn, that looks good. Oh, that's a nice color. Oh, actually really like, now that I'm looking at it from this side, this divoted portion. You guys see this part? Where the arrow cluster is? It's pretty cool. This part is pretty cool. It looks nice. Are these stock? These are stock. Yeah, these are stock. Stock white linear SI one-eyed. Extra screw tray. That's one quick way to scratch up your boards. Let's hear the suspense is killing me. All right. Sorry. Need to get the thingy ready. Don't have high expectations. All right. Okay. All right. I think I got this right. I'm gonna snooze those ads that are coming up in like 30 minutes apparently. So they're snoozed for like another 5. Okay. Okay. Sure, I think I have a fan on here, so I'll turn that off for a sec. My expectations are as high as they are from Mamdani. Damn. That's tough. Alright. Wait, did that enter? Oh, wait, that's not an enter key. Hold on. I need to reprogram this. Is this an enter key? Why is that typing a layouts? Okay. 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 All right. Okay, let's try it. Let's try this out. All right. So first time for me building a custom Space Invaders linear build here. This is the Seal80 from Sensy Lab. We have some stock SIs on an FR4 plate. It's currently top mounted, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Big thanks to Max GPDX for letting me borrow their parts for this. Without them, this wouldn't be possible. So, all right, let's go. Ooh, I don't like the FR4 sound on this. Yeah, I feel like a metal or even the plastic. Actually, yeah, metal plate probably would have been the play here, right? But it definitely sounds like, you know, vintage, because it still has the personality of the switches because they're stock. One thing for sure is that the spacebar is like pretty heavy for me. I noticed. It's not like the worst, but I would say like if I were to use this like all day, they would feel kind of heavy. But yeah, I would personally do a metal plate on this, like steel. I guess even alu maybe. And yeah, the switches are dry, by the way. They're not lubed. The FR4 definitely sort of you know, gets the sound off a little bit, and not in the best way, but that's fine. The switches themselves are super smooth though. I really like how they feel. They're like super smooth. For like bone stock, this is like this linear low-key sounds like clicky. Yeah, there might be some. Is there some play? I'm not sure. I think honestly it might be some of the plate also kind of playing a role here. Yeah, I think with the right build, I think this would be pretty good. I do think the disadvantage here is that we're using a FR4 plate, which kind of, it tends to like, it sometimes accentuates, like it doesn't accentuate like anything very good or very bad. And so, yeah. But when there's like, yeah, when there's like a little bit of like rattle and things like that, it kind of brings that out a lot. So it's like a, you know, I mean, it's fiberglass, so it kind of brings a lot of that like more high frequency. All right. FR4 needs an atrociously loud switch to be good. That's fair, I guess. I mean, you know, like we built this touchstone earlier this week. This was FR4 with MX Browns. But yeah, they're much louder, and also I'm using thick keycaps, thick ABS, so that also is different. But yeah, all right. Let me go through the mods real quick. All right. Yeah, this backspace is rattly as hell. I can do a better job on that one. Well, anyway, let me talk about the feel for the board. So feel-wise, the board actually feels pretty nice. It's on the, like, I actually thought it was gonna feel a bit softer, but it doesn't feel that soft. It's surprisingly stiff feeling. And I don't really think it's like the plate doing that work. I think it's just the way the mounting right now is doing it. Actually, do we have a plate here? I'm kind of surprised considering the mounting looks like this. It's actually, why is that not going away? Oh, there we go. But might want to rebuild this with clickies at some point. Yeah, I think with the FR4 plate, maybe we should try the clickies. Maybe I'll do that. I'll have to desolder, so maybe I'll have to do that either maybe this weekend or sometime next week. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I think we can try it with the clickies. Does this board have an internal weight? No, it has an external weight. Got a desolder 400 pins. Yeah, it's a lot of pins. Yeah. Well, it's like this, and it like attaches to the inside. Yeah. I also have an FR4 plate for ALPS, but I don't know what to do with it. I have some SKCM blues that are decent condition. They're not modded, but they're like decent. So maybe I could try that too. Compare with the clicky SIs. This is a hear me out situation, but can you try it without the weight? Wonder if it sounds better in a more hollow case like ALPS. Huh. I mean, we can try. It's only like a few screws. So, yeah, why not? It might actually sound better. That's not a terrible idea, actually. But yeah, I do agree though. Cool Penguin is right. It needs to be internally hollow. This is not that hollow on the inside. This is actually not that empty on the inside. I don't think it'll do that much in that regard. Like, it won't give you that like roomy sound that like OEM boards tend to have. Maybe it won't sound like much, honestly. Maybe you'll just hear the plate and that's it. I think it's the plate, in my opinion. Might as well be the top mount plastic bits. That's possible. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna try a few things. Let's try to like stiffen some of that up. So I also noticed that I'm using the default stuff that was on the case, and some of that was the screws also seem to have these O-rings attached to them, which is dampening the plate mounting. So maybe I'll like stiffen that up by taking them out as well. External weight still dampens? Yeah, of course it does. I mean, we can do all of that, I guess. Let's try some of this. Done. Can I get this out without having to flip it over? Yeah, so the plate screws have a, oh, it's super thin though. Very thin O-ring here. I'll take them off. I don't think I cannot take out the little inserts though, because I think otherwise you end up with a different height and the spacing wouldn't work out. So I think that those have to stay. Hi Diego, I missed the stream. Can we start over? That'll be a lot. That's a lot of pins that you were talking about. I had to solder 4 pins per switch, okay? That's like, what is this? This is a Win keyless ISO, so is that like what, 85 keys or so? Times 4. Oh wait, yeah. Oh, it's not coming out. Stubborn. The GB units will have 3 different top mount inserts. Yeah, I did not get any extras. Any extra inserts for this. I only have whatever the default is on this. Which I'm actually unsure what exact material it is. It seemed to have a slightly rubbery property to it, so maybe it's like a dense silicone or something. But yeah, that could help for sure. Come on, screw. Come off. Okay, so... Oh! Are these O-rings? Is this screw actually that long? Wow. These O-rings are actually essential for this. Now that I've taken them all off, I can see, but they're spacers. But like they're essential. Because otherwise the plate is rattling. Wow. So, I mean, I could use a smaller screw, a shorter screw for this. But like, I don't know how long this screw is. What? Can I just use a shorter screw for this? Yeah, I was just taking the plastic bits out. But I realized that the plastic bits actually are spacers necessary for these screw lengths. Surprising. I'll see if I have any short screws. And we'll take off the weight too. But wait, hold on. Can I take off the weight? I can't take off the weight. Because the daughter board is mounted onto the weight. The DB, the USB port is on the weight. You just leave the DB floating? So I just put it on top of the brass weight? Or like just like let it out? Isn't that like defeating the purpose of it even having the weight? I mean, I guess. Or we're just having fun, I guess, right? It's silly. I don't think it will do much. But we'll see. It's a chunky weight though. It's pretty heavy. I'm also kind of curious what it looks like underneath. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Has this like stepped portion. And there's our DB. It's a standard universal DB though, so that's nice. So you're saying just let it hang here? That's pretty funny. I don't know how I'm gonna just let it hang here. I guess we'll literally just keep it on like for hanging on to hopes and dreams. I think this is not gonna do it though. It's like just leave it here. How to short your DB 101, right? Yeah. I don't think these plastic bits can come off though. I would need shorter screws for this. These screws are long enough for the plastic bits to stay. So these washers actually have to go on there. So yeah. Okay. Well, looks like we're kind of out of options, actually. I'll just put the washers back because I don't really think they're doing much other than being spacers. Go look in your big pile of screws. I do. It's just a pain to get to. Alright, fine. I'll go look at my big pile of screws. I have to take off these screws anyway. Big pile of screws, big pile of screws. Okay, let's see. Let me see. So these are, I think, let me measure. What do we have here? 2.5s, and length I got about 7 mils, I think. Seven mils into the case. Okay. What's your preferred plate on top mounts? It depends on the switch, probably, but I would say aluminum is definitely the easiest to work with. Followed by, personally, polycarbonate. Some people really like carbon fiber, but I prefer polycarb more than carbon fiber. MX Blacks, alu, for sure. Alu, yeah. MX Blacks and alu is a classic for a good reason. Okay, give me one sec. Okay, I found my screws, luckily. Let's see if I got enough of the ones I need. 6, 5, 6 maybe? Maybe these will do. Let's see if these work. Let's see if these work. Okay, that'll do it. Okay, now let's pray that we have enough. There's some, come on. Stop being stubborn. Okay, now let's try these shorter screws. Okay. Oh, I missed one. Okay. So what, we trying this weightless thing? Let's see. Does the DB have anything to really short with? Guess not. Not for now. No weight build. I have to say the machining on this case is really good. Very nice. Let's see. Okay. Straight up DB here. Let's see. Does it work? Alright. I don't think it's gonna do anything. I think it's the plate though. I have like my guarantees that it's probably just the sound of the plate for this build. After all this work. So, what's my music here? It's probably both. Yeah, it's a mix of factors for sure. Let's see. Let's see though, I guess, right? No way to test it without actually showing for it. All right, just gonna type random things, okay? So, yeah. I think it needs some metal plate. It's like tiny bit better because the sound is just kind of traveling through and then coming back out. But yeah. Yeah. I think it's really just the plate. It's mostly the same. Mostly the same. Okay. Since we already did this, nice thing is I can just unplug it from here. And then time to buy a new plate. Maybe I could ask for one, but I'm not sure what the guarantees of me getting one is, actually. So, yeah. Alright, let's put the little weight back in. And I think what we can do in the future is try, can do a clicky build later or some other time. It'll definitely need some tinkering, yeah. Well, so what I like about the board specifically is that it has all the components, like all the necessary parts that make it easy to work with, you know. The assembly itself is fairly simple. It supports well-known and used PCBs. It, you know, it has all these options for plates, PCBs, and, you know, whatnot. You know, I think the PCB really is a big one, right? And, you know, once people start figuring out their preferred thing, people can play around and experimentally figure out the combination that works for the board. It'll take time. But in this particular case, I do think the plate really here is taking away a lot from the build. So let me put this back in. Matt, hello. How are you? I think because we are currently bound by the constraints of the plate, I will do a desolder and try out the clicky ones too. Oh, don't think I pushed it all the way over. There you go. Tell if this is maybe a little easier if I put the screw on first. Having a hard time putting it on. Hermano, can you explain a little bit about the top and bottom case rails? Yeah. I mean, it basically is functioning like a force brake. All right, like basically you have the top and bottom pieces making contact. Like the inner part of this case is making contact with the bottom case, but instead of making it directly onto the metal aluminum bottom, right, it's making it onto these rails. So they're pretty much acting as a softer material to interface the bottom and the top pieces instead of the alu purely, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'll just leave the screws the rest alone. I think it's pretty much the same. Just used slightly shorter ones. Just double check that it's good. Okay. Okay, all right. So that's pretty much it. Oh, okay. All right, just put it back together just to kind of show it all together. But yeah, I guess I can show you what the board just overall looks like. So it just looks like that. Did I miss a sound test? Yes, technically, but I can try it again if in just a bit if you want. But yeah, does it sound any different with the weight and regular top mount? I don't think so. We can try it. We can try it right now. How about that? Where is my? So I'll just. Sorry, okay, put the fan on. Got really warm. It's really warm here with the studio lighting. It gets really hot. All right. So this is linear SI on FR4 top mount. Yeah, so it's pretty muted, I would say. Yeah, I mean, I think it requires some experimentation. I think for FR4, I think trying a louder switch is better, as people have said in the chat. But ideally, I think, honestly, either a plastic or a metal plate, just any different plate. FR4 just has a very different property to it. It doesn't. I don't really recall any time when FR4 plates have sounded good with like a large array of switches. It's very variable. So yeah, the switches themselves are pretty nice. But thoughts on the Seal80 so far? I think the board itself is gorgeous. I really like the board. Like, I really like this little divot here. This little accent is pretty cute. Overall, the machining on the case is good. The tolerances are pretty nice. There's a little like nice little chamfer around the board and on the inner parts here that look pretty good. Definitely like for the color options and the overall look, it's really good. I'm excited to try to build it with other things too. ALPS, Cherry MX, right? But today I wanted to try something different. I did it with Space Invaders, which fine. Didn't turn out too good because I would say the plate pairing was not great. Actually, before I plug it back in, I'll show you the rest of the board. Yeah, I do think that a different plate would just be a huge difference. But yeah, design of the board though, it's clean. It's really nice. They've really brought like a very nice aspect of this design and put it onto this TKL form, and it just looks really good. I like the little badge here. The weight machining is pretty clean. It's a little smudge right now because my hands are kind of sweaty. Palm is sweaty, But yeah. I should have insisted on a metal plate when I requested. Should have known. But since they were doing the honors of sending out the unit, I don't want to ask for too much. But yeah. But yeah, there's the build. Looks wise, it's very nice. Yeah. I can show you what the board looks like. Otherwise, though, okay, there. So that's from the top. This little like amber accent is pretty cute. This piece. But yeah, the anodizing on this is like really nice. I cannot emphasize. Like, it's super smooth. It's very even. It's very smudged right now because of my fingerprints, but like it's very clean. It's very nice. And here's a side profile. It's pretty kind of standard, kind of boxy, but with a slight curve for the shelf portion. And then there's your side profile for the SI keycaps. And here's your back. Centered USB port. It uses 6 bolts for the case. There's a seal badge over there. Again, this one has the little amber piece there. Yeah. But yeah. As for the board itself, I'm pretty happy with. I think it's pretty cool. Forgot what the pricing was like. I think, let's see, if I pick the same options as this, so anodized, when keyless, brown with brass, and let's just pick default stuff, solder PCB and a regular plate, comes out to strip. Let's see, what's this strip thing? Let's just pick just pick any of them, like brass or something. Comes out to like $411 USD on Divinity. So price wise, honestly it's pretty decent. It's pretty good. Okay. Do we have any other things? Probably a little late for me now, so can't do any rebuilds or anything like that. But if you guys have any other questions or anything, happy to answer them. But otherwise, I'll be planning to do some more experimenting on this. Can't really get an SI plate out of, you know, made right away, but I can still do ALPS, MX. For the MX, I have the ABS plate. For ALPS, I have an FR4 plate. I think that's for AT101 or SGI type of keycaps with the ANSI cutouts. And for this one, for the Space Invaders, I have the clickies that I could try. Your anticipated boards in the year 2026? I haven't thought too much about, well, I haven't thought about buying boards myself. But I've seen nice boards so far. At least among the ones I've checked out this year, I did enjoy the Stratum 80 quite a lot. The logos was actually kind of cool. I thought the Hope was also nice, albeit a little bit on the pricey side. Yeah, I enjoyed the, I mean, I guess some of the coming releases, if you're into classic TKL, the Synthesis is gonna be nice for McLovin and Mary C. That's gonna be coming later this year. If you're into TKLs, this board is actually pretty nice. If you want wide compatibility, I think this is probably the option to get. Just gives you a lot of bandwidth for playing around with different types of switches from vintage to modern. I don't know too much for EC, but I also don't keep up with the EC scene that's custom. I know people are excited about the new domes, but I haven't really tried that much, or actually at all. And I don't have actually any custom EC cases, so there's that. But it's nice to see a lot of adapter kits now. What else? What else? I think Mode is working on new boards too, right? Like revised versions of their boards. I think they're working on that. I haven't really heard any news specifically to that. On my end, what else am I'm checking out a gray studio board later this month, and first board designed by a studio in, I think, Malaysia. Called the Slate Zero. I think they're doing a 60%. That's like a 0-degree angle, so that's kind of interesting. Not sure what to expect. New boards. What else am I missing? I did see some boards that I'm not gonna get to check out, but that I thought looked kind of cool. Like the Katina TKL from INN Studio looked pretty nice. What else was there that looked pretty cool? Let me see. Oh, did I upload it? Huh. What else was there? There's a new Bauer release, but I think the Bauer, I think we kind of know what to expect because we've seen release of the Bauer before. The Stinga, I guess coming later from Singa KBD, but it's supposed to be a Kohaku in 60% format. So if you know what the Kohaku is like, I feel like the expectations of the Stinga could be kind of moderated from that. Isn't the Seneca 0-degree? I thought it had a riser though, right? Seneca is designed for ergonomic use without an incline angle. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, but there is a riser that's like 3 degrees, so it's like almost nothing. Yeah, it's basically flat. Yeah, the Seneca is basically flat. Do you chime in on this Kazawa craze? Oh yeah, that's the Nux Rose board. I remember seeing that. It was like really affordable pricing. Yeah, that looked cool too. EC and like a ton of options. I remember that, yeah. HE, EC, MX, 65% for like what? $200 at most. Crazy. Yeah. And no, I think for those people looking for like custom EC, it's like super cheap now. F1 722 V2 Clarity Kill and F28X. F28X, huh? What's that gonna be like? I thought F284 existed already. I guess F1 revised, sort of. Wait, but that's F18X V2. F28X V2. Oh, okay. But I think with those V2s, I think we kind of know what to expect generally, right? Like people know exactly what an F1, F2, like the Geon board is like. So I feel like knowing that, my expectations for those is about the same. So they're gonna be nice boards, I'm sure. They have like a basis for comparison for them. Yeah. But yeah, for the people who are looking for them, it's they're gonna be nice releases. But to be fair, I personally am not really purchasing boards these days, so been mostly slowed down on purchasing, but I do see excitement over new boards. Okay, well, I guess we hit basically midnight here from my time zone, so I probably should wrap it up here, my friends. GMK keycaps. Well, I know that Green Alert is ending. I'm kind of bummed that Green Alert's US international kit was sloshed because of low performance. Kind of a bummer because that's actually kind of a nice touch. Actually, I guess it's actually fine that it's canceled. I feel like for that set, the play should have been to just bake it into the set and not making it an alert set. It would have been more unique that way. I think the alert thing has run its course over the past couple of years, so I don't think it's a tough sell. People are burned out from those from the alert sets and stuff. Masterpiece is getting a new run, yeah. I was never huge on Masterpiece though. I like the shade of blue, but I never loved the katakana and stuff. The Latin base seems promising, but I would rather see it with text mods for instead of the Mac OS mods. Same for the nav cluster. I'm not huge on the icon nav cluster personally. Greg is running again, R2. They're adding some novelties and stuff. They're not doing the full yellow look though either. They're just running the base and the novelties, and I think like a DIY kind of kit. Yeah. Thought that was an April Fool's? No. Masterpiece is confirmed. They're definitely running that. Neflock from Novel Keys and the designer, the original designer of Masterpiece are talking. So, no, that's definitely gonna be a rerun. What do you think about Sawari winning the rerun poll? I feel like I'm kind of surprised. Not gonna lie. The reason I say it is because Sawari was never that popular of a set. It has issues with contrast, and it just was never a popular set. Yeah, it only, I think the reason Sawari became popular is because it's old enough. And it's old enough, and there was this whole period of time where people were like, oh, old GMK good, and kind of pined over these forgotten and hard to get colorways. And Sawari is among those classics from like the back in the day, like, you know, custom group buys and stuff. But like, yeah, I think a rerun's good. I think reruns for sets that people want is always a good thing, as long as it doesn't stop original ones too. So yeah. There's what, DCS Olivetti, if you're into like the classic look sets. DCS Olivetti is one of those sets, I think. I really like that set that recently ran from who is it? No Num Nums and Patty and Bowl, I think. Solar Green. That was a nice set. I thought that was a nice spin on the solarized theme. That was a pretty cool set, I think. That wasn't like necessarily like a rerun, you know? Yeah. Another Diego GMK set rerun? I already did all mine. I did Blue Alert. I did Dolce. That's pretty much all I got. I mean, there's Greek Beige, but those were just Alphas kits that like didn't sell that much anyway. Yeah. Does that mean they're also rerunning Greg? Yeah. Greg rerun has actually been in the talks for a long time. I know the designers. They've been talking about rerunning Greg for a long time. I also picked up Bulge. What's Bulge? Oh, the swag key set. I think I saw that, yeah. Wait, Bulge is for blue? I thought Bulge was like... Is blue? Bulge is blue? I didn't know that. I thought it was like... Yeah, I thought it was black. What? I'm like, Bulge is blue? There's like blue accents, but I thought it was black and gray and white, with basically what looks like sleeves dark accents. Okay. I thought, okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. We need more R5 GMK sets? I would agree with you. I don't know if people like R5 that much, so... Also, it makes sets more expensive. Right now, we're not at a good time for new sets because they are more expensive, slightly more expensive, from like between the whole tariff situation that happened and some more. Like, I feel like I feel like R5 has kind of gone out of the popular, or not, it's never been popular, so it's always been niche, but you know, it's less now in the sights for people and designers especially. Well, V hates R5. He did Phantom. He's traumatized by Phantom R2's R5 kit being a big flop, if I recall correctly. But he himself, I don't think really likes R5. I'm pretty sure. Something like that. You know, it's okay. I understand. People are used to it. You know, people are used to what's available out there, and R4 bottom row is more available than R5. So, yeah, I have ZX and the Custom 65. Yeah, ZX is nice. The GMK set. Yeah. Shonies, what's up? All right. I guess should wrap it up now. All right. I like R5, especially my Heine beige. R5 is goated. R5 is great. Real question is, when are we getting more gym key sets with homing dots nipples? Oh, I'm not a homing dot nipple type of guy. I like bars. I like scoops best for cherry profile, to be personally honest. That's my #1 preference for cherry specifically. For everything else, I prefer bars. Homing dots, personally, I'm okay. I'm okay with them. I'll use them. I mean, you know, I have sets with them, but like, it's not like my #1 pick. I love nipples. Okay. All right. I think it is now for me time to wrap up. So, is there anybody else who is doing any keyboards? I don't think so. It's kind of late, right? So, where should we take you guys? Where do you guys want to go? Anybody we can raid? Keep stream. I don't think I see any keyboards, sadly. I don't think I see any keyboards tonight. It's pretty late too. So, womp womp. We can read landing keywords. He's chatting about GMK sets. Shoney's, go tell Chris to start stream. Yeah. All right. I'll just take you over to. Do you guys like? Should I just take you over to the duckies? All right. Let's just wrap it up here, guys. All right. Once again, big thank you for coming by. I'm sorry that the build was not what you expected, but again, I came in with no expectations myself. But I was excited to try it out, and it is cool that it actually works. I think that's the biggest accomplishment of tonight. It's that it actually has a lot of potential. We just need a different plate. I may ask to see if they can cut a steel plate or something for me, or if they can just send a file and maybe I can look into a steel plate. We'll see. Timing wise, it's kind of rough, but we'll see. But yeah. Otherwise, maybe I'll just desolder this and try it out with the clicky SIs and go from there. Alright, folks. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for coming by. And have a good rest of your night. And for those who are about to start their weekend, I hope you have a good weekend. But I'll see you later. I'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Goodbye. Good night. I'm so sleepy now. I'm falling asleep. Bye.